unusual early season schedule with a lot of games on the road against major college opponents. How has that changed maybe what you did in preseason as opposed to a year where maybe you're going to be at home for most of the first month?
Yeah, not a whole lot, Jeff. I mean, what's changed is just trying to, get our team as ready as we can with the number of new players or inexperience. So just trying to, coach, be patient, encourage, challenge, all those things. We're still trying to establish the things that'll help us be competitive and give us a chance to win. So, I don't think you change a whole lot. We got great competition.
Has joined the conference.
And we know, even playing the William & Marys and that, I mean, their ability, they're a team that certainly shoots the three, runs very good offense, stuff that's hard to guard, and will challenge you. So our deal is really, just trying to get better in practice and then be as ready as we can in games and getting guys. There's going to be a lot of new experiences coming at these guys, even in our exhibition game against Roanoke. That was certainly new for a lot of guys.
All right, Michael Phillips will have the next question from the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Tony, have you given any thought to who's going to be in the starting lineup Friday night, what that might look like?
I'm not 100% sure. I mean, the thing is we've got with our 5 players on the perimeter, for those 3 spots, they're all going to play the way we started at Roanoke. We went with John Tell and Moo and KT, but that you could make a case for really starting any of the other 2, whether it's Joe or Billy, in stretches in practice. They've all looked good. Certainly Mike is a cornerstone, and then Hassan's done a good job of practice, but there'll be a rotation certainly that will give guys the opportunities to play. But trying to settle somewhat on a rotation, but that's difficult. Obviously our perimeter is settled. That's just by sheer numbers, and then with Mike and Hassan, and then we got to look. There's the guys like Akil and James Johnson, certainly Will Sherrill, Will Regan. They're really all in play, and that's the thing we got to say. Okay, what are we going to go? What directions? And that's a little more up in the air. The rotation of the front line.
Dave Fairbanks, Newport News. You've got the next question.
Hey, good morning, Tony. Given how many young guys, new faces, assess where your defense is compared to, say, the end of last year and maybe even at the same stage last season.
It's probably, not where it was last year. I thought we started to have real good stretches of team defense as the season closed last year, whether it was the Duke or the Boston College game or even stretches. But so it's probably not there yet. It'd be hard to be there with again, the newcomers. Same time last year, I think what helps, here pretty clear, the guys that have been in the program, the returners, no question, they're at a different place, and the new guys are effort-wise getting there, but there's just things you get through, repetition and through time and through maturity that you're not thinking as much and reacting. You become more of a defense that anticipates and is really team-oriented, and you see the difference in the two. So the guys who've returned are a step ahead, and the newer guys they're figuring it out, but again, they'll get new experiences, and it'll help. It'll be challenging, but it'll help them to be in these game settings and play a team like William & Mary, who really will challenge you with their back cuts and their execution and their three-point shooting is something you try to mimic in practice, but you can only go so far with that.
Thank you. Next question, Steve Yonda from the Washington Post.
Hey, Tony, and kind of continuing with the defense, are there aspects of it that the freshmen are having a harder time grasping? Are there aspects of it that they're further advanced than maybe you thought they would be? And I guess, are any of any of the freshmen further along than maybe the others at this point?
Yeah, I think there's certainly the willingness. Steve is there without a doubt. They're willing group. I think it's such a team defense that when there's a breakdown, it really shows. We had our scrimmage against Marquette, and then we went against Roanoke. You see some things you get a feel. First time, a lot of them going against the quickness or the athleticism, or teams that'll really stretch you out. So you see some challenges, but they're better than they were at the start of practice. to just through the daily repetition, again, playing people. There's so many aspects to it, on the ball, then your vision off the ball, then rebounding. And it's the thing I've noticed with the young guys, Steve, is, in high school you come in and you got to work hard on the ball, and that can be a challenge, but you can kind of relax a little more off the ball. And when they relax or get out of position, usually they get taken advantage of and exposed, and that's new to them. So some of the guys I think are coming along. They've all made strides. The physicality and the rebounding for the four guys is a little more challenging, probably because they're going against the men. But I can't say one of them is ahead of the other one. I know the guys that have returned are certainly that much better because they have a year under their belt, but nobody has stood out to being just a stellar defender, nor has anybody really been off the mark. Some guys, again, are going to have to work on when they go against elite quickness, keeping them in front, but that's what the team defense is for.
The next question belongs to Whitey Reed from Daily Progress.
Hey, Tony. Just to continue, I guess, with the defensive theme, after a typical game, someone hands you the stat sheet, the box score, whatever. What are the stats on there that sort of mean the most to you to judge whether, you guys played well defensively with the pack line in that game?
Well, I mean, not even from a statistical standpoint, your goal, did you make them work to get shots? Did they get, I was saying this before, did they have to shoot contested shots? If they're, getting transition baskets, if they're in the lane at the rim a majority of the time, and or getting a bunch of second chance opportunities, those things hurt. So you can look at those statistically. You do look at field goal percentage defense, 3-point percentage field goal defense, and rebounds, but you still say, did they have to earn? Did they make, for the majority of the night, tough shots? And then when there was a breakdown, were we scrambling to, cover for each other? But those are the ones we look at. You'd say offensive rebounds, what kind of field goal percentage are they clipping at the other team, and from the three, and also overall, you look at some of those.
We've gone through the rotation once, so I'll just open it up. Feel free to ask your questions. Just identify yourself when you do.
Hey, Tony, this is Jeff again. As a former point guard, how do you feel about your point guard situation right now, with Sammy out particularly?
Yeah, we got a sophomore and a freshman. We got 5 guys to play 3 spots. I think John Tell has made some strides. I really do. From last year, he did a nice job in our Marquette scrimmage, and he's really, he's very good on the ball defensively. He can really set your defense, and I think he's getting better and better. And I like what I'm seeing in him. And when he lets the game come and attacks when he's got opportunities, he really helps us. And then Billy being the other one. Billy is in practice has had some good stretches, shot the ball well. He had a little bit of trouble. He got a little bit sped up. He actually tweaked his ankle a little bit in the Roanoke game, but he's got a nice feel. He can do some things, and he's a threat certainly with the 3 ball, which is nice. He'll have to continue to adjust playing against the speed and the quickness that he'll see. But those are the guys we have. At times, Mook could play it if we're in a pinch. It's a kind of a 2-headed monster, I guess, is what you're looking at right now, and they both provide something different. But you can see the inexperience more in Billy than even John Tell, and that's to be expected. But I just want our point guards to certainly be aggressive, but try to be a steadying hand, and that'll be important.
You meant James Johnson was banged up a little bit earlier in practice. Is he good to go?
Yeah, he's practiced. He sprained his ankle the first practice and missed, I don't know what the number was. It seemed like about a week or week and a half, maybe more, of practice. So he's getting back up to speed, and still obviously has missed some practices, but health-wise, he's getting stronger and stronger with his ankle.
Hey, Tony, it's Dave Fairbank again over in Newport News. Have you made any decisions yet in terms of possible redshirting players?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's something, I will take that. We're really going to sit down on Thursday after practice and say, okay, not that if someone doesn't play in the game that they can't, they could possibly still come off a red shirt, but we have some decisions to make. We really do. Obviously not in the perimeter, but we got to really think about this, and it's always that question of, does a year of work and extra individual skill work, or does the game experience, and you can't always say, well, it's going to be, this guy's going to get 20 minutes a game, so therefore it's worthwhile. There's some things that are some hard decisions to make, but we'll certainly do it for what's best for the player, but certainly what's best for the team and for the long haul. I think you always got to look at what it sets up to be, what things will be played out, not just in a one-year period, but over the course of a few years, how it will